A phone buzzes. Once. Twice. Her hand hovers above it, but she doesn't pick it up. A man's name glows on the screen. Not yours. The air feels thick, heavy, like the silence right before something breaks. She exhales, slowly, and for a second you can almost see it in her eyes. The guilt, the confusion, the war inside her chest. But it's already too late. The line between love and loneliness has blurred, and now you're left staring at the ceiling, asking the question that's been haunting men since the beginning of time. Why would she do this? You think cheating is about sex. It's not. It's about something missing, something she's been searching for in silence, something she's been pretending not to need. Maybe it's attention. Maybe it's validation. Maybe it's being seen for the first time in years. See, many women who cheat don't start with the intention to betray. They start with a void, an ache, a quiet longing that's been building, drip by drip. Every time she felt invisible, every time she shared a thought that went unheard, every time she smiled while swallowing her sadness, every time she gave and gave and gave, and no one noticed she was empty. That's not an excuse. It's a psychological pattern. You have to understand something about women, especially the ones who always look strong. They were raised to be good girls, pleasant, kind, obedient, to take care of everyone else's feelings, even when it meant ignoring their own. That's called parentification. When a child learns to become the caretaker before ever learning how to be cared for, so she grows up believing love means sacrifice, that her needs are too much, that to be loved she has to be useful. And when she finally gets into a relationship, she keeps giving, she keeps holding, she keeps fixing, until one day she looks in the mirror and doesn't recognize the woman staring back. That's when the crack forms. It doesn't start with a kiss. It starts with a conversation. A man who listens, who remembers the little things, who looks at her like she's still there, and for a moment, her nervous system, tired from years of neglect, feels alive again. That's the power of emotional validation. When someone finally sees the parts of her that have been starving for attention, her brain floods with dopamine, the same chemical released during attraction and love. It feels intoxicating. It feels like home. But it's not real love. It's relief. Relief from the weight of feeling unseen. And relief, if it's not understood, can make even the sanest mind do something reckless. There's a part of her she's been hiding. The part that craves power, freedom, desire. The part that's been shamed, silenced, told to behave. That's her shadow. The wild, impulsive, forgotten self. Most people don't face it. They suppress it until it bursts out in destructive ways. Cheating is often the shadow's rebellion, a desperate act of the unconscious, screaming, "I exist. Look at me." When you've spent years being the caretaker, the peacemaker, the pleaser, sometimes the only way your psyche knows to reclaim itself is through chaos. But underneath the betrayal isn't evil. It's pain, unprocessed, unspoken, unhealed. Here's where psychology cuts deep. When someone feels emotionally neglected for too long, their attachment system goes into panic mode. Their brain starts craving intensity, any intensity. It mistakes emotional chaos for connection. That's called a trauma bond. So when she meets someone who triggers both safety and excitement, it feels magnetic, addictive. Her brain doesn't see logic. It sees survival. That's the fight for aliveness, the mind's last attempt to feel something when it's been numb for too long. After the rush fades, after the lie collapses, she's left with the truth. It wasn't about him. It was about the part of herself she abandoned long ago. And now she's drowning in guilt because deep down she knows she wasn't trying to destroy you. She was trying to find herself. But healing doesn't come from destruction. It comes from honesty. So, if you've ever been betrayed, don't let that pain turn you bitter. Let it turn you curious, because every betrayal reveals something deeper, not just about them, but about what we choose to ignore in love. Maybe you stopped listening. Maybe you stopped showing up. Maybe you both forgot that love isn't maintenance. It's awareness. And if you're the one who cheated, don't run from your shadow. Face it. Ask it what it needed that you never gave yourself. That's where healing begins. Infidelity isn't just a story about betrayal. It's a story about neglect. The neglect of the self, the neglect of needs, the neglect of honesty with yourself and with the person beside you. So next time you look at someone who's cheated, don't rush to call them evil. Call them human, flawed, lost, searching, because underneath every act of betrayal is a heart that just wanted to feel alive again. But here's the truth. You don't need destruction to wake up. You just need courage to face yourself before your shadow does it for you. You're not broken. You're becoming aware, and that awareness is where the healing begins. If this spoke to you, you're not alone. Subscribe, because this channel isn't about judgment. It's about understanding the mind and healing what the world taught you to hide.